So here we are. We are
Hello,
live
everyone.
again. Hi. Say hi, Alan. Hi.
Hello.
Here we are once again. It's been a while, but we are here again. We have Jan, the reigning champ, of course, and co-host, and we have Alan Horsley, who did everything he needed to do to be here. He promised something to his wife. We don't know what it is. Maybe he wants to comment on it. And he also said the camera
just
from
here
his
to
telephone.
talk about that he outqualified me.
There's nothing too sinister. I've just got to spend more time with her tomorrow night. That's the sacrifice I had to make.
Ah, well, that was cheap. It wasn't a big deal.
Bargain, yeah.
Well, but I'm very happy you could make it, Alan, and I appreciate that you are streaming from your telephone, even if that means you can't see the screen and our faces very well. So it's very much appreciated.
I will, meanwhile, I will run the YouTube stream so I can read some comments. Wait, I didn't mute it.
Mute it. It's several seconds. Again.
So now, okay.
Delayed.
Yeah, we'll have the, so I can see the comments on YouTube too, if there's anything interesting. Yes, so
I suggested Alan to do the same. I don't know if he finally could do it.
I see Kirsty's watching.
Yes, he's always here. Is this your first time, Alan, watching being part, but watching the streaming?
Yeah, I did watch it a little bit once on YouTube at the first half an hour. Then I had to go and spend some time with the wife. So,
because
didn't get to see the entire race from the live stream.
Kirsty is always here. Well, when we were setting our cameras and our microphones before we went live, Jan said that he was arranging his elite betting game bets, and I want to ask him who he put for champion.
I shouldn't. I shouldn't say anything to that. No, I mean, I put myself because if you don't believe in yourself, you have to believe in yourself because no one else can do that for you.
That's the attitude. I wanted to know. I think that you are going to be challenged this season.
Yeah, it will definitely. It will definitely a lot more people with a fast pace. I think season 72 and 73 were not that interesting. I mean, 72 we had a battle with Nefsat, but I think last season wasn't that interesting for spectators at least. But I think this season will be a lot more fireworks because I think that people have more money. We have more premium tires, and people trained the drivers last season a lot on cheaper tires. So I think that the stuff that people have is also a lot stronger. So, well, I got in some ninja trainings, but of course you can do a lot more if you're on cheap tires than pushing all season. So gonna be more difficult, but also be, I think, funny season and very, very open and difficult to predict.
Are you happy that you see that it's going to be more challenging this time?
As long as I come up on top at the end, it's okay.
I'm asking you that today. Don't think of the final result. That it's 2 months away. Today, are you happy with being challenged?
I think that the tire constellation is not bad for me actually, because I can maybe say something why I chose Bridgerock last season and Michi this season. So last season I saw that everyone was pretty broke coming from Brimgarten test track. I think we had like 22, 23 people in negative before race 16. And for comparison, last season it was only 4 or 5 people. So of course we didn't have Brimgarten and a lot of Contis and Badger that are quite cheap for elites. Yeah, I was expecting last season that we will have many Contis and Badgers because of the financial situation, and I also checked what tire would make sense for everyone, and so I came up that there will be very few Hancocks and Mishis, which makes bridge rocks much stronger, because in race they are of course a lot better. I would take bridge rocks in race under every condition, even if it's dry and cold, because the dry bar compensates most of the peak temperature difference, and yeah, and you have 2 bars more durability, which means you can either run a softer compound, have less wobbling, and use more CT, or do a stop less. And
but you're not answering to my question, Jan.
Yeah, I will. What was the question?
It's very insightful that you want to explain your tire choice. I think everyone appreciates it. We all want to listen to the champion insights, but I ask you that if today, if you are excited or happy that you have more competition or not, because you told that.
I think I like the competition.
Is it a good thing for you?
I think it's a good thing. That's will be fun, and the games are there to make fun. So it won't have any consequences for my life if I don't win the cup this season. And so
you'll be fine, of course.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. Well, but I think that it's good for the game overall. Maybe not for you personally, but for the game overall, it's a good thing to see some managers challenging. Also, I think that it's a good thing for the rest of the tiers, especially masters, because if eliters challenge each other's, they'll have less money when the master promoters get there next season or the season after.
I think last season, the last 2 seasons actually would have been a really good way to establish yourself at the top, because I think it wasn't too fast actually, because we simply did not have much premium. So I think with a average package and Mishis, you could have done top 4, top 5. So I was a bit surprised. I had some teammates I advised to say maybe Dede, who could have used that opportunity, but he decided to relegate back.
Dede never knows what he wants.
Yeah, he is supposed to fail. I think he forgot to forgot stuff market, and then he didn't have a driver, and then he had to go down. Otherwise, he might have used
what
it.
What
Yeah, we have accepted it. That is just how Dede manages.
Well, we happen to have all Nuvolaris here at the streaming tonight. Alan is a Nuvolari too. What about your plans, Alan? Are you planning to join the teammates at Elite or not?
Well, it remains to be seen. I'm quite, happy with the way my last 2 seasons went. A lot of people in my teams were a bit sceptical about my abilities to retain in Elite, but I proved them wrong, so I'm happy about that. And really, this season, it's the last real season with my current driver, so my intention was always to have a push this season and see what I could do. I really wanted to start the season. I really wanted to start the season with a lot more money than I did, so it's going to be a challenge really to manage with my tyres. I think that I've chosen the Mitches because obviously they're very expensive, and my money balance isn't too good. So the challenge is going to be to try and get the race results I need to be able to keep the money churning in. My sponsorship's a bit dicey as well, so we'll see.
talking about sponsorship, are you still running on new sponsors, or have you started signing sponsors from the stash, Jan?
I've been trying to sign some sponsors for the last couple of seasons without much success. My results just haven't really been good enough. I've been getting beaten too badly, so I've got one that I've been negotiating since middle of last season, and I don't know exactly if I think I'm behind, but I don't know by how much. So I'm hoping that my opponent isn't on a premium this season, and maybe I can sign that one. Maybe about mid-season. We'll have to wait and see. But
only 2 people negotiating.
What?
No, I asked Alan that he was hoping that his rival wasn't on premium tires. I asked if it's only two people negotiating in that sponsorship.
I know there's definitely more than one opponent on it. I don't know how much each opponent has got, so it's very questionable. I mean, looking at the graph, I've got a suspicion one is similar progress to me, maybe, and I think the other one might be low progress. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see what happens. Anyway.
You mentioned the graph. I think that we have managers that are maybe not as veteran as the ones that are now here, but those who are supporters and have access to the sponsors graph, it's a very good tool. You should pay a look into it. I don't know if they are all aware of it, especially the newbies, that you can get a much better idea of the exact average through the graphic with decimals. While when you check at the main sponsor link, you only see a round number. So check on that, guys, because it's a very nice tool to be more precise.
Yeah, I saw a sharp change in mine in a race or 2 ago, so I think that's when somebody else joined. So yeah, it can give you a good indication of maybe what's going on. Nothing guaranteed, of course, but
of course not. Of course not. But those who check it often, if you check it only once, maybe it's not as useful. But if you check it every race and you check it 2 or 3 times between races to see if anyone joined or left, it's a very good indicator. And I think that many new, especially those that are still at amateur and haven't reached the higher leagues, might not be aware of that tool and how useful it is. So
I have to admit, I forgot.
Where are you? Where are you at the race? Where are you?
Yeah, where I started. Yes. I forgot how annoying it is to be in the train. Never missed it.
I'm just catching up now, but I seem to be getting blocked a bit at the moment, I think.
Seeing Ellen being
Mr. Common is blocking me, I think.
Half a second faster and lower risks.
You're 10th. I see Roland Puzzle is 4th. How do you feel about that, Jan?
Yeah, this race is not the indicator. It's not characteristic for the season. This is how I take it easy.
But it's a cold race, and Mr. Puzzle is on bridges, Those for weather on hot weather, and he happens to be performing very well in the cold.
If I had 2-second gains, I could do that too.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. That if you had what?
If I had 2-second gains like Roland, I could do that too.
What are you doing? Because it's very noisy. Are you eating something?
No, it's a foil behind.
What's that?
I have to cool
the microphone. You were scratching the microphone.
probably. Is better now?
Yes, it stopped. Thank you.
If the quality gets worse, then just let me know. Then probably my mobile phone is overheating. I usually have a cool pack behind it. It's my professional solution, given that my technical inside is opposite to my driver's technical inside.
I see. Well, I used to have in the old days when I had a BlackBerry, it overheat all the time. I had no solution, but I have an old laptop that is from 2011, I think, and it overheats all the time. But I have a base with a fan, so to keep it cool. But I'm not using it much anymore. Thankfully, I have a desktop now.
No one told me that this track is worse than Monte Carlo. I definitely would have passed on Monte Carlo by now. Yeah, maybe I hope I have a good pit stop, maybe.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of TD you have, but if you had a good one, maybe you can make a difference there. You're clearly not going to overtake anyone on track tonight.
At least Ahmed forces to front helps me a bit blocking Roland.
Carlos just got past me.
Come on, it's easy to block on this track.
Apparently not. Hopefully we'll have a big DM now. Come back hope.
How many Nuvolaris are at Elite this season?
5, I think.
That's a lot. I'm not sure. I should check the starting grid to check the liveries. That's a visual reference that it's very nice to have, but I don't know how many Victorious survived last season. They used to have quite a few guys at Elite. I don't know this season how many they have.
They also have a very big and ambitious team. I think they're probably focusing a bit more on Team Cup. But of course, it helps to be in Elite fighting for Team Cup. So
they seem to have 4 people this season.
Okay, that's important because there was some victorious Nuvolari rivalry that was my fault. But yeah.
Why your fault? We want
because
to know all the dirty
because
details.
I posted in the team forum of Nuvolari, and I fired some shots at Victorious, and Victorious fired back, but I think since then there was nothing that happened, so only those 2 posts.
I happen to remember that I had to intervene, you know?
I mean that Ivan Silva was once a teammate, and he then gone
that's
to...
what I wanted to get.
Yeah, Ivan was once at Nuvolari, and then he...
It's Ivan, by the way.
Surprisingly, and of course, you're never happy if someone leaves La Familia, you know.
La Familia.
You know, you don't leave La Familia, you know.
La Familia. It's very Italian mafia.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting opinions interchange, I remember. There were some shots fired, as you said, but it ended fast, and it was all over the belt, I think. Happy you all could behave as adults.
I'm not passing today. I give up. I should just retire the car and save some beer for next race. I think that could be a strategy option for next season. Retire the car, if not better than this or that spot.
Let me put the cars at the pits.
Yeah.
Well, I think that many of us have thought of that same option. If you start smoking on lap 3 because you had a random, especially when you have a random, but when your part wears naturally because, of course, you didn't change it when it was needed, you know what you are facing. But when you have a random and then you have to race like over half of the race with a smoking car and having exactly the same wear that you would have had if you were actually racing at full strength, it's never nice. Of course, you can set malfunction to a lower level, but if I never do that, because if your car breaks like 2 or 3 laps from the end, it's not a good idea to do so. And randoms hopefully don't happen that often. But I think that we have had some managers having bad strikes with randoms. Bert, for example, he's also your teammate, guys. I think he was a little upset last season because of a series of randoms he got. Where are the randoms?
He was complaining quite a lot on our chat tools. Yeah.
I pass.
Yes.
Now it's time for another mistake. I see it coming. Let's see my net time, my race pace. I'm curious. Okay, maybe I can catch up with the Carlos train. Let's see.
Well, that train is 7 seconds away. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm pitting 27, 10 laps. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I miscalculated tire wear. I don't know, but seems all right.
They are killing it. They have a race of their own. They are like 20 seconds away from Ahmet and Roland, and of course they might be doing one extra stop. I'm not sure. I have the wear for premium tires, but they might be doing an extra stop and they will still get away with it, and the race will be between them. I think the win.
Yeah, my car is not good for this track, so I have to accept
you're already trying to find excuses for that. I see.
Yeah. If Roland beats me next race, then you can. Yeah, but let's see.
Yeah, myself and Jan have got different plans for the start of this season.
What I said and what I already said is that he's performing very well for a cold race. That's all. I think you'll have trouble to win the trophy this season, or at least to win it cheap like the last 2 seasons, because you really got it easy.
So I think Jan would disagree. I think he'd say he planned to be very dominant. Isn't that true, Jan?
Okay, who is at the chat? Mado. Hi, Mado. Hi, Maxime. Maxime, who was our last feature here at the streaming. Very nice to see you again. You know nothing. Cuba is a little bit upset because what I just told.
Ahmed wrote that he would pay for the stream. Can we actually make only Ahmed pay? Because he was once at Nuvolari too, and he left La Familia.
Left La Familia. Hey there, Gianni.
No, but I think
betting game earlier, and I saw that about 20% thought I might come third tonight. So that's looking less likely now, unfortunately. So I apologise to the people who did bet on me to get a podium.
Did Elite betting game get open on time this season? What time was it available?
I don't know. I played it 5 minutes before deadline. It worked there.
And it worked. What about you, Alan? Do you play Elite Betting Game?
Do I play what?
If you play Elite Betting Game.
Oh yeah, I did last season. I started off quite well, but lost my way mid-season. I think at one point I ended back up at 40th, but I think in the end I ended up at 80th or something. But we had kind of had a little joke going in Nuvolari because basically whenever I put Jan first, he would not finish first. Whenever I put Jan second, he would finish first. So he kept telling me to put him down second.
He did it on purpose, I know.
We had a chat where we discussed Elite Betting Game, and I think we ended up being first, second, third, 6th, 7th, and 8th, Nuvolari, and Anna was, I think, 120s with the same bettings. And
no, I like to bet against the odds. You see, I like to take risks.
So we all waited till Anna put his bet, and then we did just opposite. It was the safest way to do. Carlos is 3-betting, or is random? But it surprised me. I think Michi is no need to do 3-bets. Bit surprised. So I will get maybe 1 point today.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Woohoo! Carlos, what tire is Carlos on? Michis? Yes.
Yeah, I think he's very unlucky. His driver's retiring age 33, and I don't know if this is a good feature because it seems to be pretty random. And I mean, 33 is, you train a driver and he has plenty of good years, and then you train for seasons, and then the game decides that it's not the time for you. And I don't know. I don't think this gives the game much. Maybe you can say after 35th, after a driver is 35, it could be okay. But I think retiring age 33 is a bit silly if you train a driver over seasons and then it ends like that. I think it's very frustrating for players, even though I got lucky this season and my driver's not retiring, but I think it doesn't need to have such a feature.
You're getting some compliments on the chat, Jan.
I need to go into YouTube. Maxime, I don't speak Russian.
No, scroll a little bit up.
Yeah, I see, Jan. Yeah. Thanks, Maxime. So you don't want to join? I think I know that you have a mic and a camera, and if you're not too loud, I think it will be fine.
I wish he could join, but the truth is that he had to also promise things to his wife when he was online on the streaming last time. It's very late at Russia, and all his family was trying to sleep while he was talking with us here at the stream. So maybe it's unlikely, but if you are in the mood, Maxime, you're welcome to join. I haven't seen anyone trying to join besides him.
I'll just say something to Mark M. I was sort of reading the chat. He's asked me where my cowboy hat is. I did go to the back of my car earlier on today to find my cowboy hat. It's been sitting in the boot of my car for a couple of years. When I took it out, sadly, it's gotten a bit rotten. So I've chosen to go with my beret tonight instead. Sadly, the cowboy hat has had to go into retirement.
We have what lap is it? It's already the first pit for the two stoppers.
Yeah, seems like I didn't have very good data in our team tool, so I was not so sure, but it seems that I could have used more clear track risks. So bit disappointed with my strategy here. So yeah, probably gonna have plenty of energy left, but now it's like it is.
I think that might have been why Carlos made an early stop, or did he retire? I didn't check.
Well, I had some data from, I think I had to go back till season 31 till I find some proper data, but I didn't have elite drivers, and I had to make it based on
season 22. Really?
Yeah, I think it was season 31. There was a dry race with 3.9 degrees average temperature, which came most closely, and
tires have changed a lot since that season, Jan.
Yeah, but it's not tired.
I don't think that is a reliable base to make calculations.
But there was no. It was hot on all the other races, and this makes it even worse. So I used that data, and it should be fine. I don't think it changed, but I simply had no similar drivers at that time. So I was expecting that probably my driver can handle more, but I didn't want to risk an extra stop because according to that, it was like 2-3% left, and now it seems like I will end with like 10%. So it's not ideal, but okay.
Well, yes. Anyway, I don't think that taking season 31 as a reference is a good idea, especially for trials.
No, I mean, it's okay. I've done it a lot in the past, but simply I did not have the driver, and I didn't want it to risk too much trying to calculate it from a rookie driver to elite driver. I rather wanted to have a few percent gap, so buffer, but yeah, maybe I should have risked a bit more in this race.
Here I have we have a question for you, Jan.
Yeah.
A question from a 2-time champion to another 2-time champion.
I won the Jeep Pro Legend achievement. For that, I need 3 in a row. So this is my goal, I would say.
We are giving it a shot. We'll see if it works or if it doesn't work.
I remember there is an interview with Kimi Räikkönen that is pretty funny, where interviewer asks him, "Kimi, is your hunger for a second title your hunger for a first?" And Kimi is just annoyed and just leaves. Quite funny, but yeah, it's maybe similar. I'm still motivated, and it's fun to play. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So. Let's have some shitty pit stop, yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor, that is a terrible pun on my hat.
You were hoping to overtake people during the pit stop.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Maybe I have to opt for energy. And I like energy. It's funny. I remember last season where I once signed a pit TD because Roland outbid me on the other TD, but it was okay. The pit TD was fine for a few races, and then I had a 13-second pit stop, and then I signed a pit TD, and then the race after I had a 14-second pit stop, and I was like, next time I just signed a pit TD, the test TD, but. Seems like this time
I'm expecting quite a bad pit tonight because my TD is also a test TD, and my facilities aren't quite up to Jan standards at the moment.
Alan doesn't need pit TD. Alan is fast enough for a test TD. I will block you to death if you fall behind me.
I'll be quite surprised if I'm still in front of you after the pit.
Where is Alan?
What did you had? 5-6 seconds?
Yeah, but I've pitted later, so I'm doing some bad laps at the moment.
I think if you get like 19 seconds, it's probably enough to stay ahead. So let's see.
19.8.
What? On my screen, it's like 12. Oh, I actually passed.
Yes. Do you have any arrangement about
that
other pass?
We're both Nuvolari, but we're in different teams.
Yeah.
He's a partner, I'm a predator, so we can't set any team rules, unfortunately.
We have a Telegram group, and everyone is like who sets who to pass, and I'm in the other team, so at least I I can ignore that.
Oh yes, you have the 3 teams, 4 really.
Yeah, 3 active and one rather passive team.
Yes,
but it's also, I mean, we have a Telegram group with 5 people now, but if you have more people, then there is more risk that there are some problems with people who want to have the same driver, the same TD, or one is blocking the other one and is annoyed and so on. So there's always some risk for trouble the more people you have in the higher divisions. But I think overall it's also more fun if you share the same groups and can compare directly on the track. So
sure. Well, it depends on how the market is shaping. I recall back in the day when we have the super TDs. I don't know if you got to see that era.
Yeah, I remember that Pavlicek and Postel, they were like 2 TDs and they bet like 3 million on those, I remember.
I was one of the ones that got to pay 3 million for a TD back then. But when there were a bit more than 2 super TDs on the market, you still had to go and fight for them against your own teammates. And when that was the case, we already knew that it had no point to try to arrange anything. What we did was not sharing our bids with the teammates and pass the deadline only showing what we bid, so we could have a fair competition.
Yeah, I think there are different policies, and I think we already changed ours at Nuvolari because back in the days we said that who claims first gets it, and I think this was like ended like people claiming like 5 seasons in advance, and it didn't really worked well. And then we started cross bidding also to analyze bonuses a bit, and now we have a bit more open policy. I think there was also some clashing on stuff. I think there are different policies. I think we had a pretty we didn't fight each other. I think Edifice, I see like they are bidding on the same like all the time. I think it's like you have to bid on your teammates' stuff to be part of Edifice. I see like Christos and Janis always have the same bids. But I think
because I remember that once that was an accident. You know that Christos was supposed to make a bid, a holiday in Janis, and
excuse
he ended up hiring the driver that Janis was going for, and of course, once Christos' driver was in the market, Janis got to sign him, and he got a championship with it. It happens, you know. That was fun to watch.
Do you know what was the highest driver overall back in the days? Because I think I've seen Nechtailo having 241, and I think it's the driver energy era. This is by far the highest. I think Robert Laszlo had 234, which was the highest I've seen. I don't know. I think might have seen 237 from Pavlicek when I started playing G Pro, but maybe you have better insight from what was the best mark in those old days.
I really don't recall, but we were having a discussion on this at Shower Racing Forum, and yes, it's impressive. I don't think I have ever seen such overall for a driver at Elite. Maybe Maxime knows better. I don't know. But it was a different market because when Maxime was at Elite and winning championships, they were basically still using the drivers as they were preset. They were not like nowadays set a very low overall and then trained by amateurs, but they had a different market. I would like to know what kind of drivers you could hire at Elite those days.
Yeah, of course, with having to do Spa, drivers get a bit harder to. It's a bit the market is a bit worse. But I think now the market is getting a bit better again. I feel like, I don't know, maybe more people skipping Spa to train driver. I see a lot of good drivers out there usually. At first, when it was implemented, then the quality of drivers really went down drastically. It felt like now it's getting better again.
Yes, well, energy had a lot to do with that. People were simply overdoing risks and not training the drivers properly at first until the thing settled. When everyone started training the drivers back, then we started to have better drivers. Also, the pyramid problem got slightly better, but when we had a very small rookie division and not so big amateur division, that was also a problem. You know, if the newbies don't train some drivers and push them to the upper levels, things get more complicated. We also now have more masters bringing their own drivers to Elite. That was not always the case.
Yeah, at first I wasn't a fan of training a driver, but then I felt more comfortable with having one and not being dependent on the market. But I think market can be okay. I think Tony got a driver similar to mine, and he just paid 1.5 million more, which is not that much. I mean, it's just need a few more million at the reset, and you're fine. So you don't. I think there are different ways to win, and I think this is a good thing. I remember Michael Keeney always complaining that some ways succeed, and that there are ways to succeed otherwise than his way. And I think it's a good thing if there are multiple options.
Michael Keeney always complaining can be set in stone, I think.
I think someone posted in chat that he start crashed, and now he can complain in forum. Maybe he can come here and complain a bit. So it's my invitation. But probably he is not joining because I'm not real. So he don't want to talk and computer simulation. Also, I'm a hologram, I think.
Jen's my DA. He's my double account.
I hope we can get Michael joining the streaming. Maybe we can arrange that day are recently something else. Yeah.
I would be watching with some popcorn. I don't have to be in the chat.
I think that in the right mood for it can be a good streaming. I want to invite, but not that I want to invite. I already invited some of the Force One guys to do a special feature because they have been winning some team championships lately. So I think they deserve the recognition, and of course, I think they can share interesting stuff with us. But I would like to have more than one of the guys at the stream, and maybe Michael can be one of them. We'll see.
Maybe I think he has a lot to say. I mean, he has to hold back on the forum, so he has more to say here, maybe.
I bet he does. I only hope not to need to moderate anything. That's all. But
any chance that we can get the joy of reading his forum posts in near future, or will it stay permanent?
I'm not authorized to discuss such matters with people outside the crew, Jan. Maybe with the crew we can discuss it. What do you say?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's. I think everyone has to get a second chance, I think.
Yeah, we can discuss about that later. I don't see why that cannot be a legitimate offer. But well, as I said, I won't be discussing that with anyone outside the crew. Kiss for Michael, who might or not be watching. I think no. He said he had plans for the Friday night. He's a bachelor, so I guess he might have something better to do tonight. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So any
I think that the two Hancock guys make a good job of taking some points from Roland.
I need you to get more right. You're blocking me at the moment.
I'm not blocking your slipstreaming.
That's correct.
That's what he always says.
Yeah.
I don't know what about Ahmed and Roland. Maybe Ahmed can help you, but I'm sure that Roland would find the way to use that on his own favor, because he say, "Oh, nice! I won't be needing to pay a podium, how do you call it?
Podium bonus.
Bonus, yes. Thank you. I missed the word for a minute. I don't know who is.
I don't think that Ahmed and Roland have set any bonuses. If you hire a driver at a bit worse state and train him, then I don't think you will set those. Well, for some reason, I have a trainer behind me again. I start feeling that I'm just slow.
You're just slow?
I'm just slow.
Well, of course, that compared to George and Sergey, anyone is slow tonight. But besides that, if you compare yourself with the other Smitches, maybe you are. Now here will come Cuba to to discuss and tell me not to fight you, Jan. Not to contradict you.
So let's see if I can win the over and under achieving award this season, given that I'm nominated at both.
Oh, speaking of that, where is Kyle? Kyle Morris, where are you? Kyle Morren. I was hoping he joined the streaming and announced his the Oscar winners, but there's no sighting of Kyle.
I sent him some votes earlier, but I didn't include on my stats for points scored and everything. So I don't know if maybe he's having to trawl back through my records and find all that stuff. I'm not sure.
If I get the driver mistake now, then I'm 15th.
I'll get a bad pit, which is more likely, then I'll be way back.
I think Christos and Janis will have good pits too, so might be close. I think, yeah, Christos had a 13-second pit, and Janis also had a 13-second pit. Yeah, maybe I could proceed talking about tires now, given that we have some silence.
Let's talk about tires then.
Yeah.
So, are you slow, Jan?
One's fast or Mishi's, I don't know. Has to be the car. I take car as a good excuse for today. But I think we will see some people running out of energy. I think, yeah, it's not completely over yet.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think that this season I was even expecting a few more Mishis, more bridge rocks than I expected, because I think with more Mishis, bridge rocks get worse because there are more people that can potentially qualify in front of you. And then, I mean, last season I lost maybe 2 places on average in bridge rocks compared to Mishi, and this season you could maybe lose 5 or 10 spots because of them. And I think that makes, for my opinion, bridge rocks a bit worse than Mishi's. But yeah, I mean, Roland is really doing great. But I think if you see the other bridge rocks, and I mean, that are people with a really good package. Pavel has a great driver. Nefsat is, of course, one of the cup contenders, and Dimitri has a monster driver, and they are pretty far down given their qualifying problems. I think they could go a lot faster now, but doesn't help that much on a hard overtaking track. So also we have 2 Hancocks that likely out-qualify bridge rocks under all circumstances. So I don't know, I would probably still take Mishis over bridge rocks after knowing the tire constellation this season, and so that was why I decided on Mishi instead of bridge rocks. But yeah, maybe the season will be hot and rainy all the time, and I will be proven wrong.
Just to mess with you.
Likely going to happen.
Well, I don't think you have been that unlucky. You had very good previous seasons, so I don't think that you are not the kind that gets the opposite of what you go for on tires.
Yeah, the only thing I'm very unlucky is...
I can speak a bit about that. I haven't been very, very lucky with my tire choices at Elite, considering the weather we had during the season.
I remember that I once visited the Elite forum just to check that you were on Hancocks in a hot season, or was it the other way around? I don't remember.
Both things happened, as a matter of fact. Yeah. It was a really cold season, and I was on Hancocks on a very hot season.
I remember that I wrote there, I just came here to see that Flo is on the wrong tires. I got the post of the season or so, I don't remember, but
well, it happened yesterday that I was at the chat room, at the general chat room on the site, and PJ Peterson, for those who don't know him by his nickname, PJ was asking me what tires I was going to pick so he could pick the opposite. He's at the same group I am, by the way, no? people in other groups shouldn't need to worry about what tires I pick. Maybe all the ones at Master should, because if I pick Chocos, it means that it's going to be a really, really cold season. Anyway.
So maybe if there are some questions or so, I'm trying to read through the chat a bit, but I don't see direct questions. So I wouldn't mind if you want to ask any one of us anything.
Well, we have a Supernova guy here cheering for Sergei. I always wonder what's Sergei's real nationality, because he's under a Cuban flag.
I think that Tennis Lake is the first person from Bangladesh. He wrote that 100% of Bangladesh people are elite now.
I don't recall having seen that flag any time besides him, you know.
There's also, I remember there is a guy who is, I think, Nigerian, who always posts that he is the first one to win a race, the first one to promote, and so on. He's also always keeping the forums up to date.
You need some activity, you know. If nobody posts some little nonsense, the forums would be there. They are not very active these days like they were in the old days, but you need something to keep things active.
I'm surprised that no one commented on Yuke's tire choice so far. He chose a rather uncommon cartel for Elite. Seems to have expected more pippies this season. But let's see how this plays out.
I'm sorry, I missed what tires Yogi is using this season.
What?
I mean, Chocos. He's on Chocos.
Yoko, yeah. Choco.
Because in Argentina,
never spend more than you need to.
We pronounce it differently in Argentina. The Y is sh, like an S and an H. Sorry about that, guys. Chocos. Not Chocos, Chocos.
I think you've got another set of boost laps before your next pit, haven't you, Jan?
What about the Shipro meeting? I don't know. So far, the only candidates for the Shipro meeting are the Catalans. Barcelona is the only city so far. But for it to happen, we need JQ to host it, I think. Maybe Joan, who happens to be his teammate. You have two Catalan guys at the first one, so maybe they can pull something together and host the Shipro meeting.
I was thinking of a feature for the Gpro forum that you maybe can search for the nearest players around you that are logged in, that are playing Gpro, because I think we have the most managers from the same location. But I think it maybe would have been a good idea.
You need to set your location for that to work. I have.
Yeah, but don't most people have set the location? But otherwise, I think that most people from same location wouldn't work.
No, most people don't have location set. But we could allow some GPS feature.
Yeah, it's probably a problem with data security. But if there would be more people that set their town, then maybe you could meet people in your neighborhood that are not direct neighborhood, but maybe that are living not that far from you, that are playing G-Pro 2. I think in Germany or so there are not that many people, so it might be a bit further away. But I think there are also countries with more people, and I think there maybe they wouldn't be people that are that far away. So
well, I happen to live in a not very big city in Argentina, and I happened to find 2 people living in my city so far. One I met in person during a meeting. We have almost every year we make an Argentinian meeting, and in one of the meetings, my neighbor joined us. He has been retired for a while. He comes and goes. He's not always active. And there was a guy living in my city that was at the same group I was 2 seasons ago. I think it was season 72. But we never got to talk. I have no idea if he lives nearby at the same area I do, or if he is like 5 or 6 kilometers away. I don't know. He never. I think that we have some shy managers that prefer not to talk to me. I don't know. Some people think I'm scary. I don't get why.
I once Patrick Balog told me that there were some some of those things occurring on one meeting.
Some what?
That you two didn't get along so well. I remember him talking some stories. He wrote it me via personal message.
He was basically fighting against himself, you know. I never took whatever Patrick said seriously. There was no way I could take seriously what he said. No, there was
I
no
don't
way.
know. It's too. I wasn't active at that time. I don't know what happened and what.
No,
maybe if you want to tell some stories or so.
I should point a topic out to you. He was totally pissed at a point, saying that my success, which wasn't such really, my success had to do with me being part of the crew, you know. That topic was, of course, a source of lots of fun back then.
Yeah, he told me too that you stole the game code and stuff like that. And
no, but that's a different theory that someone else threw. No, not Patrick. That wasn't Patrick. He was. I think that his theory was that admins were favoring me. I know I can't recall it exactly, but it was like, I don't know, maybe he thought that admins were manipulating the race result or something like that, the race calculation.
Who in the G-Pro crew is responsible for the weather, and why don't you get along well with that person?
I have no idea. Considering Stefan is not very active these days, I would say the only one checking everything is in order after race calculation is done is Vlad. I do recall some years ago when Stefan was a bit more active that he did pay a look to race calculation to check if nothing went to shit, you know. But that's what admins always do. That's why we have the races and the staff markets the days and times we do, so we can make sure the admins are available. That's a point that not many people have raised at the discussions that we had recently at the forums about changing the deadline for the staff markets. The point is that is unlikely to happen because admins need to be, nearby their computers or at home to check that everything goes well. we haven't had so many race calculation or market calculation, or market scripts probably, but still admins had to be on call, you know. I have, as a matter of fact, once or twice I needed to send a panic SMS when something went wrong. So it's a good thing that it's in a time of the day that they can be available, and they happen to live almost in the same time zone, you know. Stefan lives at Germany and Lars lives at Bulgaria. So if they have that time available to be in front of the computer, we need to respect that as players. Anyway, I'm rambling, guys. Stop me. Stop me, please. How's the race going? Oh, you are up at.
We're about to pit again, so
when
we'll
are you pitting? Jan, what lap are you expected to pit?
This at the end of this lap.
Okay.
Not sure if I'm going to go one extra lap again. I did last time, so I'd imagine I would do.
Did you increase your risks compared to what you set in the team strategy page, or is it like it is there?
A fake one that we put on against each other.
Are you hiding information from the champion, Alan?
Yeah, I forgot to.
Jan started it. He put in some figures which clearly were not his strategy. So I did the same thing. I put some fake figures in.
Actually, the reason why mine is not there because our page changed a bit, and then I worked in another window, and then I forgot to press that button. But so
I'll believe you.
The next races I should not forget it again. Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed. I should have done.
Yeah, my real strategy is up on the site now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Stefan Gomans under that account that it's called SG Motorsports. He's asking if you remember season 62. I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Season 62.
Yes. Stefan Gomez, I don't know if you share a group with him during that season.
I just got a driver mistake. I don't think I will score points today. Yeah, wait, I need to check my history. It's quite some time now I'm playing, so I know that I once was in a group with him and he was on Mishi's and we were fighting for promo, I think. We also had some sponsor clash, I think.
Opa. I'm not sure here. Maxime said that the race quiz is unwatchable. But I'm not sure. I don't think I can do much about it because the width of the screen is what it is. And I'm sharing what I can. Of course, everyone is invited to open the race screens on a separate tab and follow from there. But I really cannot do much about it. Sorry about that, guys.
I remember season 62.
Well, tell us about it, please.
No, there was just, I don't see nothing unusual there.
Well, then we want to know, Stefan, what did you mean asking Jan about season 62? What happened that season? Please answer here at the chat.
Maybe Luca Molendi promoting in 4 races almost, but I don't know. Now he's probably referring to Luca, who returned after he didn't race for 13 races, and then I asked him if he want to come back, and then he was like, if I lost my marbles, when I told him, yeah, he has to promote for me, he had just 4 races, and then I said, no, trust me, just I give you some tips, and then he passed me within 4 races, and but there were 2 people who decided then to not go negative, so it was didn't matter. But I think it would have been pretty funny if he actually returned and promoted to elite within 4 races. I think that would be quite memorable.
That kind of thing spices up the seasons. I think I was considering inviting a few people and having a special show discussing unwanted promotions. By the way, I think it would make it an interesting streaming. And any of you has ever had an unwanted promotion or an accidental promotion, as they call it?
Maybe we should talk about that. He managed that last season. First, he wanted to promote, then he got plenty of randoms and bad luck, and then he decided to not promote, and then he promoted accidentally by 1 point. And now he's here.
Oh,
Is he here?
I just heard DM. I was just crying in the chat about how I was ahead of you. And I got my DM.
Poor Bert. We sent a very big gift to Bert. It looks that it is not Jan's night tonight. Oh, you know that Roland claims that the seasons when he gets championships are not usually the ones that he starts with the right foot, you know?
Yeah, me neither. I usually start the season with a start incident, like 80% of the times. But I think this race isn't any better. So
don't lose your hopes.
No, I mean, season 70 started with a start incident too, and if Roland, I don't know if he will get 6 or 8 points. Gonna be close. I think it's 33 seconds. No, wait, he has not made it to lap 58, but probably gonna be 34.5 seconds or something like that. So 12 seconds. Yeah, usually Sergey should be in front of him, but
I think he will win
so if he runs out of energy, then that could be the issue.
George is unstoppable tonight.
What?
George is unstoppable tonight.
Yeah, it's looking good. I think he has better drivers than Sergey, so he can handle more clear track risk without running out of energy.
Because Sergey just came out from Master last season. He was at Master 4 with me. I had to try not to get lapped by him last season. It was impossible not to get lapped by him. He was on barriers and he was really, really fast. But it was really, really interesting to watch because his pack seemed to be the best one coming out from Master last season, I think. I voted him for the Oscars, by the way, for best manager outside of Elite. I think he had an outstanding season. Maxime is asking me if I plan to invite Vlad to stream. I don't have the balls to. I would be glad to have him here if he decides it's a good idea, but I don't want to put pressure on him. You know, he has lots of things to do. And
what is his normal job? Is he a programmer or
what?
What is his normal job? Is he a programmer or what does he do for a living?
I think you should. I do know a bit more things about about his job and stuff than most managers know because being part of the crew. But I don't think it's a good idea I share that kind of detail with you if he doesn't want to. So if he wants to be at the streaming and answer those questions, that would be great. As I said, I don't want to put pressure on him because I know he's currently the only active administrator we have. With Shuka retired and Stefan being only available with in limited times, he's really busy and has to do everything himself. So if he wants and has the time to be here, I'll be very happy to have him. But if he decides it's not a good idea, I think we all should respect that. I wish that answers the question, Maxim. and before they throw in another question about Roland Puzzle, because I got asked about inviting Roland before. Roland doesn't have a webcam, and that's a problem. He also doesn't.
Well, I remember Kamal once appeared with just a mic. It was fine.
Yes, just a mic. That's true. It worked very well with Kamal. We had fun that day. I do recall. He doesn't happen to have a microphone apparently either, and he also doesn't have.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Well, he said he might be able to get a microphone and eventually join the streaming, but he did not promise anything. So I wait for the right time when he feels it's time to join. Again, I don't want to put pressure on him. I don't want to scare him away, you know. So, we have Iveta Lazan, who has been not very active lately. We miss you, Iveta. Forums are way more active when you are in them. And about chat room, it has been dead for a few seasons now. It's not specifically the streaming that killed the chat room. If you ask people who usually join the chat room, last 4 or 5 seasons has always been the same. Not many people in the chat room, and even when there's people online, people do not answer back. Kirsty message Vlad. Well, I have seen him in person, and I can tell he doesn't look like a pirate.
I like that pick. I think he should come as a pirate.
Well, maybe
that will also start some conspiracy theories, given that my team is called Pirates too.
It's a good theme. Yes, we have the pirate language at the side too. That's a reason for that, I think. He's probably into pirate things.
I think once I read there was Oscars hosted, and there was as a Miss Chancellor's category your favorite conspiracy theory of G-Pro.
That's a good
I remember that I got nominated for being Stefan Foggenreiter's secret child or something like that.
That's a good one. Well, there was a running joke. I started a similar joke about Andreas Weilemann, you know, my former teammate. I said that once I said that because I noticed that he qualified like 5 minutes before deadline. He had a perfect setup, perfect fuel. Of course, we all have very good tools at Shower, you know, but still did the perfect setup, the right strategy, all in like 4 or 5 minutes. So I theorized that he was Stefan Bodenreiter in disguise.
If I have less than an hour, I fuck that up for sure. I don't know. I'm not a stress guy. I remember one race last season, that it was season 72, where I planned to have like 3 hours for the race, and then some shit occurred on the way home, and then I had only an hour, and I was already panicking, and then I mistyped the setup in Q1, and then I complained in the forums that the team tool doesn't work, and then it showed that I didn't update it, that I changed the whole car, and then I ran the setup for the previous update, and then I was like in the midfield in Q1, and I noticed why is my pace so shit, and then I complained everywhere, and then then it told me that I mistyped. It was a bit embarrassing.
This is a serious accusation, Maxime. Maxime says that he's a very bad Pro player. Well, he might know how Stefan is as a racing management player, but I understand that he doesn't play.
It's actually interesting how if actually someone like Vlad or Stefan would try to manage, because they have all the formulas. The question is if they have the same feling as a manager with a few hundred races.
Of course.
I think that is, would be interesting. I also think that maybe it would be a good idea to always have a good retired player as a G-Pro crew member like Yuka Zireni, because I think it would be a good combination to have.
I missed the name, Jan.
Yuka Zireni.
Yuka. Yes. I'm sorry. I pronounce it different, so I didn't understand it. Yes, well, it was a big pity to lose him. Sadly, it was very personal matter, and I think there wasn't a way to get him back. I wish he came back. He was very good to the game and to the side both.
He implemented the PHA thing, I think, and
yes, I think that was his work.
I think it's a nice addition, and also maybe tire tweaking, something like that, balancing the game. I think this is something which might be better actually as a player, because or a retired player, of course, because I think you have a bit better feeling for those things, because Stefan and Vlad are hosting all the stuff, but I don't think that they're too much involved in management decisions. So, for example, I think that tires could be tweaked a bit more often. I think it wouldn't be too much work. I think that something like Avon is useless, and I think that maybe a tire like Badyear could maybe, or like for example Dunlop is pretty useless now between Yoko and Badyear. I think
I've been saying that for all the last streamings, that Dunos are shit at this moment.
Yeah,
they need some changing. They have been overpriced for quite some time now. I have some technical difficulties. My cat is where she shouldn't be. So excuse me for a second.
So I think that I remember that we had some seasons where we ended up with like, I think one season we had 16 Mishis and 19 Contis in Elite, and then we had like 20 Badyears, and I think that it could be tweaked a bit more often, in my opinion, but of course it also depends on how much time you have. But I think that could be a job for something like a crew member that was once a player. So, but of course you have to find, maybe, I don't know who's qualified, maybe Pavlicek coming back, or I don't know. You have probably more ideas.
The difference was that Shukas had a set of skills that made him a viable administrator. Jan doesn't have the same skill set as Shuka.
If Roland doesn't have a mic, and the cam is probably not the best option if he retires one day with 25 cups.
No, well, actually, I think that maybe he'll make a good administrator. He doesn't have the same range of skills as Shuka, but he does have a few programming skills that can be useful. But I'm thinking of some other player that might have a good skill set, but he's really too young in the game to become an administrator anytime soon. So that won't be happening. I don't think that we have very good candidates among former players or active players that are old enough to retire soon to have a new admin. I wish we had a few more crew members now that that you bring the matter on the table. And not only admins, because of course it would be great for Vlad to get some extra help, but I would also would want to have some teammates at the crew. It's pretty lonely these days.
I was actually temperatures at the moment.
I don't know what.
I can't help but notice the bad years seem to be dominating the front of the lap times at the moment.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that because Jan made a mess.
All right, you're just saying that I'm looking at the lap times at the moment, and the bad years seem to be dominating now. I think we must be moving into their comfort zone for the tyres.
Congratulations, Jan. the live stream won an Oscar.
I think it's your Oscar. You're the main host.
It was your idea. I always credit it.
You make it possible because I do the technicals.
I was wondering the other day what would have happened if you had the right equipment to host it, because you should have needed to open a YouTube account for it.
Yeah, that's the one I can post on the chat. But I think my quality, I don't know if it's probably not good enough because I have a cheap laptop. Because I usually don't do any high-end stuff. I don't play any gaming, and so I was like not paying like a few $100 more just to host something I didn't even plan at that time.
Well, here at home, there's me, of course, and my husband is a gamer too. He plays racing simulators. So at the point we had to upgrade our internet connection because he was getting kicked out from some servers. So I have not only a very good internet connection, but also a very good computer because whatever he doesn't use anymore, I add it to my computer. He has a very good gaming computer and a wheel, which is behind that flag. And this headset, Santa brought it last Christmas. It was his present. Not that I bought him this present for me to use it. No, that's not what happened.
Roy Mitchell posted that he can log in with that link you posted, or if you have another link. Yeah, he did it not on the chat, he did it in the forums like an hour ago. So maybe he actually wanted to join.
Yes, I posted here because I read that Matt was commenting on it. I posted the link here at the YouTube chat. I don't know if Roy got it.
So I think some people are demanding for other groups, so maybe it would be an idea to just watch other races and maybe comment on that race.
Which one is the question?
So yeah, we can maybe let's leave it out. Let's say some of the people in the chat say what group we should watch. The first group that gets posted there, we will watch and comment.
Maxim has been saying that somebody on Avon's is running very well in Master 2. Maybe we should look at Master
2. 2? That's a good idea. Let's switch to Master 2. There it is.
After that, so what race are we watching? I have to put it on my laptop desk because it's too small on the mobile phone.
Master 2, we've got
Master 2, okay.
In 6th place at the moment.
Oh, well, we have Emil Kwiatkowski leading, but we have Henry, my dear friend Henry, Enrique Hughes Ponero, at second. I'm very happy because we don't usually have Argentinian managers doing so well at Masters, so this is big. And I'm very happy because he's one of the managers that usually attends and hosts the Argentinian meetings. He's very active in the community and also at the Mentor Forum. He's really valuable to the community.
So I think the first one who commented was Kamal, who said we should watch M3, and I think we also had some people from M3 in the past, so maybe it would be interesting to watch too.
Yes, doesn't seem that M2 is that interesting because Maxime is currently at position 23, 23rd. Let's see Master 3.
Master 5 is also funny. I think we have one Bridge Rock there and two Hancock. I don't see the point.
Another Argentinian doing well here at Master 3.
I think you want to win the Gipro World Cup, I think. You're preparing for that.
Yes, we have a nice setup this season. And Nestor, who we call Peluca, or Pelu, that's his nickname, is it's leading at Master 3. He's also very, very active at the community and joins us for the Argentinian meetings every year. So,
but I see two errors in Master 3 because Joaquin Quintana is not on Mishi and he has no train behind him. That's weird.
I noticed in Master 3 we've got M. Schumacher sitting in 14th place, so he's obviously come out of retirement again.
Yeah. Argentinian too. So
it's our year.
So Ivan has to pit again. Neil's there too. Some familiar faces. Neil maybe she should join too in the future. Could be interesting, given that he always wins the Oscar for forum user.
He's playing hard to get, you know.
Yeah.
He's playing hard
and his
to get.
YouTube profile pic shows that he is actually a double account of Roland Postel. So
who I missed it. Who is a double account of Roland Postel?
Mir, he has basically his profile picture looks very, very similar to Roland. I think someone else noticed it last time, and it actually was my first thought too.
Nobody nominated him for the lookalikes.
Yeah, lookalike would be also a good category. And also maybe a category for the most annoying blocker. And
that was a good one. Most blocker of the season.
The Joaquin Quintana Memorial Award.
Yes, that's of course.
Or maybe the Jasper Kosemans Memorial, maybe with one more season of Jasper's blocking.
Okay, let's check Master 1. We haven't checked Master 1. Gustavo Belotto, leading on barriers. Eduardo Casagrande, both from Brazil, on Hancocks. Andrew King, from Colombia, on barriers. It's a Latin American podium at Master 1. Interesting. We have a Latin American podium at Master 1. An Argentinian in the podium and the Brazilian in the podium at Master 2. That's 2 Latin Americans and a Polish manager. Guy on 3rd happens to be on Avons. That's interesting. We have someone on Avons on the podium at this race. Master 3. We have El Pelu, Nestor, leading Flavio Mendikovic. On 2nd, and Alberto Perez from Spain on 3rd. Only one Latin American manager. I'm surprised about the Avon on podium and Master 2.
It is a surprise, isn't it? Congratulations, George.
Race is over. We have Stefan Stillart, Martino Colombo, and Daniel Mason on podium at Master 4, which is the group I'm at. And Master 5, let's see how did the race end at Master 5. Alexander Alexandrov won the race at Master 5. Is he Vlad's double account? It's a question, I think. Christopher Johnson on 2nd, and Joaquin Rang on 3rd, who's challenging for winning the group on bridges. Interesting tire choice for Master, we must say. What do you think, guys? 3 premium tires on podium at Master 5.
I don't see a point for using bridge rocks in Master. I think you can take Mishis and achieve the same. I don't know. Saves $1 million a race. But maybe Joachim wants to help us winning the title for G Pro Cup this season. So maybe we have a good team. I haven't checked so far. Maybe this season we have a good shot.
Hello, Andreas. Unmute the microphone. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to know.
I just waited here for like 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, I was switching the master groups race screen, so I have my else on that screen. You know, I'm very sorry.
It's no problem.
I have this problem because I have to be here talking, and also I need to be pushing the buttons at the same time. I wish I had a producer. So, people watching the streaming, we have a producer position available. Those who are interested, please PM me. Thank you. Or maybe we can get a better host. I don't know, but it's really difficult if I have to lay my eyes on the race screen and I cannot be at the StreamYard screen. Anyway, how did your race go, Andreas?
I think not really good, but quite decent result, I'd say, for my first race.
First race?
In Elite, I mean.
So you were an Elite version.
Well, it's the first one.
It's the first one. Well, I was talking about special features I want to have this season. One is Force One managers talking about the championships they have been winning lately. Another special feature I want to have is accidental promotions. Managers discussing accidental promotions, especially those who have gone through an accidental promotion. And another special feature I want to have is elite newbies, and you happen to be one of them. We had several elite newbies this season. I think that out of the 15 managers that promoted to elite, over 10 are elite newbies. So that will be an interesting discussion point. And of course, as we used to have elite press features with the elite newbies and elite promoters in the old days, I think it's a good way to do something similar but on streaming. Would you like to take part of such streaming later on the season, Andreas?
Maybe. I just
Maybe.
don't know if I'm really prepared for this.
Well, it wouldn't be you alone, of course. You and 2 or 3 other managers that have hit elite for the first time this season. Say yes, please.
I mean, I can, yes. I just have like an hour remaining when I can talk, so.
Well, we'll see later on the season if that can happen.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry. I'll discuss this in private with you later on. I didn't check what position you got this race, Andres.
Something with
first,
30s.
The 30s.
As I expected.
31. 31st? Yes.
Yep.
31st. Well,
I was one stopping as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we have several committees this season at Elite. Of course, this wasn't a race for committees, but you are like over the midfield for the contest, so that's not too bad. Sure, you can pull something together with some PHA matching and push some race when the weather is right.
Yeah, but motivation is one thing that will drop a lot, I think, in the first races.
Oh, yes, that tends to happen. And it's one of the biggest problems that elite newbies or master promoters need to face every season, I think. Losing motivation and then not having a good enough position on the grid to push later on. One of the problems, of course, that there are lots of challenges for master promoters, especially those who are pretty new to the game. But the motivation is always a problem, yes. Driver motivation, we mean, for those who might think that we are discussing manager motivation. No, it's driver motivation.
I mean, manager motivation is quite high and it stays.
That's good.
But yeah, I hope for a good hot race coming soon.
Indeed. I think everyone on Comtis is hoping for a good hot race.
I'm
Well,
guessing
if
race
you have a
3.
good,
Jan left and didn't even say goodbye. Oh no, he's back. Why did you leave, Jan?
I actually touched my of going back on my mobile phone, and then the stream was gone.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
So, Andreas, finances wise, do you think that you'll be able to stay at Elite for some time, or do you have short-term plans for staying at Elite?
for now, I think I just need to train my driver. And to be honest, I haven't actually done even the season budget yet, so I might need to, to do it soon.
Dear Lord, that's
I mean, school is taking so much time, so I actually had time during the holidays, but I
you
was a
felt
bit
too
lazy.
lazy to do it. I must say you're not the only one. You might not be the only one. I think not putting a plan together for the for this for, at least for the car parts. Where you more or less get an idea on in what race you need to replace which part. I used to do very detailed financial and economical plans too when I was at Elite during some seasons, especially the seasons where I was on premium tires, because of course I didn't want to pick a premium tire and then not be able to afford the cost. But as you are not on premium tires, then maybe it's really not that not that needed to have such detailed plan. But indeed, you need a plan. So I encourage you to do it at some point. If you do it
Well,
sooner than later, it will be better for you.
first 3 or 4 races, you don't need to replace usually any parts, so
Oh, of course not. But uh, as
so
you
technically it's
start,
not really needed right now. But yeah, it gives a good insight for the future.
indeed, it will. Well, I always have a season plan for the parts, as I told you, not always a financial or an economical plan, but the parts I always take a good look before the season starts. Uh, this season, as I'm still unsure what is going to happen with my driver, I have not made any plans yet. I I have a more. I'm going to cross that bridge when I get to it. Attitude this season. Because if I cannot get to resign the driver, I'll probably be changing my plans later on the season.
Yeah,
Flo, if it's any
that's
consolation, your race live stream topic has won best forum topic. 15 votes to 4. So resounding victory for you.
Victory. I don't know why the streaming topic was nominated as a topic. I understand that some of the videos deserve the nomination for the best Pro related video category, but I don't really get why it was nominated as a topic, because as a topic I don't think it is that interesting. But I appreciate the support. I know that that's the reason for people to nominate the topic. And when as a topic it doesn't have much content, you know.
I suppose it depends. If you take the actual stream into account as well as part of it, then obviously it's original, it's interesting, it's fun. So the actual topic itself on GPRO probably not so much. But, as a whole,
I wish more people appreciated also realize how fun it is to be in the stream, not only watching the streaming but being in it. I think it's fun, and many people are losing the chance or missing the chance to be here. People shine the streaming. Anyway, guys, do you think it's a good time to end the streaming tonight?
Yep,
or anyone?
I need to go and spend some quality time with my wife, unfortunately.
A gift for Alan's wife. We appreciate the efforts, madam. Respect. What about the rest of you guys? Do you think it's a good time to end it?
I think we have to leave a bit for the next stream, so I hope this won't be the last stream for this season. So
hopefully some more.
Hopefully some more.
Yes. Probably a bit more to say, given that he joined just recently, but
yeah, he's a little bit shy, I think. Are you a little bit shy, Andreas?
That's just who I am.
And I don't know if you are a little bit concerned about your English. Maybe that's why you are not very talkative tonight.
Maybe we should just kick Flo and talk a bit within the family.
Is it just me though, or does he sound a bit like Mika Hakkinen?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Get closer to
I said he sounds a bit like Mika Hakkinen to me.
Oh, Mika.
Well, I'm from Estonia, so yeah, Finnish people are pretty close.
There you go.
If you want to, I can talk like Toto Wolff the whole stream next time.
Anyway.
Hey guys, I'll catch up with you later then.
Oh, well, we have another Nuvolari manager joining. Check who's here. Mr. Accidental Promotion himself. Hey there, Bert. Oh, well, we have another Nuvolari manager joining. Check who's here.
Hi, guys.
I'm listening myself through your speakers.
I don't know if my mic is working.
Your microphone is working right, but please do something about the speakers. Because I can listen myself through your speakers. Mute YouTube.
Turn everything off.
Yeah, muting YouTube or getting headphones.
This one, I'm sorry to be hiding your face, Bert, but this is for Jan, I think. I think that it was a shock for many of us that you didn't have a very accurate tires calculation for this race, Jan. Oh. Something happened to Bert. If he happens to be able to, well, we lost Bert, definitely. I think he had some sort of a technical problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Tire is sometimes a bit off. I think it happens. I don't know. Maybe other teams have better tools. Maybe tire is the most unreliable, but I think everything else is pretty good. Car wear and the fuel consumption. But yeah, sometimes if it's I regret it, but maybe should have pushed full clear track race and might have finished sixth.
I would expect a team like Nuvolari that now has 3 elite championships under the belt to have more accurate tools and to perform more research. Yeah.
Yeah, what is accurate is if you have race analysis, but it was pretty extreme temperature, so it was a bit more difficult, I think. Usually, if I have good data, then you can get this within 1%, I think, which is close enough because this is temperature.
Who is Patrick?
Different.
Please identify yourself because I don't know which Patrick is this.
Patrick Balog.
Patrick Balog. We dedicated him a section of tonight's streaming. So maybe he heard his name and came to listen to the streaming. If I am a mod, yes, I happen to be a moderator these days. It was not always the case, but actually I am. Currently I am.
Brad wrote that he needs to use his cell phone on Wi-Fi and it isn't working good.
Oh, talking about Patrick Balog, I happened to have a video chat, not with Patrick specifically, but the Hungarian guys held a meeting. I don't know exactly where it was, if it was someone's home or not. But during that meeting, I did a streaming with them. I think it was through Facebook. I don't recall. I think it was through Facebook. Patrick was there, but as his English is not that good, he didn't talk much to me that day.
So Jasper said that I share an Oscar. I'm just checking which one, if it's probably the over or the underachieving. Oh, it's the overachieving.
Overachieving, that's cool. It's funny how you got nominated for both categories, but I think that it has to do with the sense of humor some managers have, so it's a good thing.
I don't know. Somehow I wasn't nominated last season for overachieving, I think. Or maybe I was over, but I didn't win. So I wasn't expecting to win this time. I was more expecting maybe to win underachieving because I only scored 129 instead of 151. So I don't know. I'll probably get it this season for sure.
That would be funny.
Maybe I can win both. That would be overachieving, I think.
Why not? It depends on the point of view, I guess.
I never really understood what is better, to be nominated for overachieving or underachieving, because overachieving means that you did well compared to what people were expecting you to achieve. So that could also mean that people expect you to be a shit manager and you managed properly despite. And being underachieving with good results could mean that you have a good reputation, and if you then win with quite good results, doesn't need to be necessarily bad.
I tend to believe that most Oscar categories can be defined as popularity contests, and there are not always legitimate reasons behind the vote.
I hope that Santa Claus wins the Hall of Fame so I can stand next to him.
If Santa wins the Hall of Fame, we need Santa to join the streaming. I know you're watching, Santa. I know you're watching right now, so I need you to. What?
Is Santa Claus a crew member?
No, it isn't.
It's Mr. Shadow, I think. He's on the South Pole too, I think. or North Pole.
Santa happens to be another manager that is not part of the crew, so it would be interesting to make a face reveal. You know, when you see someone behind a mask or a big white beard, and then you know who is actually behind that mask. We could invite Mr. Shadow too, but I don't think he would be wanting to join. Or maybe he doesn't
Maybe
have a very good internet connection from Antarctica.
Maybe with some mask, the Mr. Shadow mask, that would be funny. I tried to convince Juk a few times to join, but I think he's like Roland, playing hard to get. So,
well, not all champions are as open as you or Maxime. You know, we have the divas too.
I don't know if it's that's the reason. Maybe just some people. I think I know Juk is very concerned about data security, and I think this is also a reason why he doesn't have a profile picture.
Exactly the same case for Roland. That's why he doesn't have a webcam. He does share a profile picture, though, but not a. He doesn't have a webcam. Hello,
well,
Bert.
I actually have one picture of Juk, which is the only one ever taken, I think, because he had one picture, I think, like 5 years ago, and then he played Elite betting game, Max Top 10, and then Max Top 10 it showed a profile picture of 100 years ago, and then he was like saying that we'll never have a picture of him, and then Ivan sent me a screenshot of Max Top 10 with his 100-year-old picture, and then I made a group picture in Nuvolari.
The picture that is there at Max Top 10, there's a picture of me. I never played, but I sometimes log in to check the standings and so. And there's a picture of me that is from 2011, I think. So it's 9 years old.
Juk is really annoyed by that picture, and then I made it a group picture in our Telegram group, I think, and I did some silly crown with paint on top of his head, and then I said, "No, champion, you have to be a group picture," and Juk was really pissed.
Well, at some point you need to change that picture. I think that the show needs to go to someone else, maybe Bert. Bert can be the Telegram picture too, because he failed to fail. He failed at fail.
Thank you for reminding me on that.
Yes, well, we can have a full streaming discussing accidental or unwanted promotions, and I expect you to be part of it, Bert. Happy to see you here at the streaming. Last time we discussed you joining the streaming, you didn't get to your laptop to work, or I don't remember what the problem was, but you couldn't be here. How did you fix it?
I'm on my cell phone now, and I'm sitting next to my router to have it work. So
yeah, I'm not the guy with the worst setup now.
Maybe
I would expect the European people having great quality connections and the South American living in the banana country having a shit connection, and it happens to be the other way around. You know, I'm surprised. What about you, Andreas? How's your internet connection working?
It's pretty decent, I think. I'm using Wi-Fi as well, so.
Well, his is better than yours. Guys, you need to do something about it. We need more people on stream, so please get some upgrades there. Thank you.
I will try for next time.
I'm sorry I wasn't following your race results, Bert. Well, I think that all the managers we had at the streaming tonight are all elite managers actually. Alan is at elite, Andres is at elite, Bert is at elite, Janub is at elite. But as there are lots of people on the screen, I didn't spot you. Bert, how did you finish the race?
Well, I
Here,
just watched 5 minutes ago or so, and I finished 35.
35th.
So, yeah, 35th. So
that's not very good, I think.
it was expected, so I'm happy.
It was to be expected. Okay, understandable.
Sometimes I'm expecting other things and I get surprised. So this time it's normal. Just hoping for the hot weather for next race, and then I can show my pace, hopefully, and we'll see what.
Do you? The question is, do you have the match? You have the car. Maybe you have the car. You have the driver. Do you have the match?
Not decent for this race. This race was supposed to be a bad race. The cold temperatures were good for me because I wasn't planning on pushing this race. So cold temperatures was all
You're
fine.
happy that we had a cold race.
Yes, that's one race less. That's hopefully in the future. Then if you have an average temperature, that's more hot races in the rest of the season. So I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm also happy about the weather because, of course, I wasn't pushing. I'm trying to see if I can resign my driver, but it will be tight. I have pushed my driver too much, and I have stayed too long at pro and too long at master to get the resign done. But we'll see. Well, guys, again, I think that you were talkative, so we didn't end the streaming 5 minutes ago. But what about now?
It's fine by me. I was just going to test if it's working now or not.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
I was just testing if it was able to also enter the stream if I'm going to sit
you were wondering
router,
if you could enter the stream. Well, now you know you can.
Yes, but my router is in the kids' room and my kids are playing normally if I'm at 8 o'clock. So
that's good. Well, all people that are unsure if their internet connections or of their equipment, camera, laptop, or whatever you have, are capable of are good enough to join the streaming, please message me because we can set the test. Before we got the streaming with Maxime, we tested his setup, his camera, his microphone, and everything. And when we checked it was good enough, we confirmed the streaming. But it can be checked, so don't be shy. PM me, and we can run a test.
or you can just test live.
That's life. We have a cold race. Not so cold. No, it's
Roland happy?
18 degrees is weather for what tire? Maybe Hancock's. Unsure.
Not again.
Mishes. Maybe Mishes will suit this weather better. Yes, again. I'm afraid that the temps are not hot enough for you, Bert.
I don't want to talk about how much energy I've left.
Kirsty says that she can do a microphone. That's okay. We had I posted earlier at the topic, and I repeated here, and also Janu commented on it, that we had Kamal previously, and now this race we have Andreas joining with microphone, and that's perfectly fine. It works. It seems to work. So don't be shy, Kirsty. Well, we know she isn't shy, but anyway, we'll manage.
I could maybe join with the phone as well, but my phone is not really good.
No, but the audio is very good. I think that from all the audios that we had today, yours is the best. You don't happen to have a camera, but the audio sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm on my PC right now, so.
It seems to work fine.
But on phone, I could have a webcam.
Well, you can try it. Actually, most of the people end up using the the telephone because the computers are not, or maybe they don't have a webcam, or they have a laptop very old, like it is my case, and the cameras don't work properly. So we can give it a try. As I said a few minutes before, we can test it. I can set the streaming without going live on YouTube. I want to clarify that we are not going to go live on YouTube. We do a private test to check the setup and the equipment.
Yeah, we can.
Well, here Lorenzo is saying, well, the post-race script is done, and he says that Force One is on top of the team standings. Congratulations on that. And please tell me, when are you going to be able to join the streaming, Lorenzo? I want to know when I can count on you for the stream. Count you in, I meant, sorry.
So I will leave the stream now. I'm hungry, so.
Understandable.
So have a nice weekend, and see you in the next stream, hopefully.
See you, Jan.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm also leaving now. Gotta
yes,
go.
I'm going to end the streaming soon, but first I want to answer this question. Carlos Cerqueira wants to know about watching the rest of another group. If it is on the streaming, it is not possible. I can only show one group at a time. But if it is on the site, you can change the group using the menu. If you check this drop-down menu, you can choose the group, whatever group you want from here. So there's no problem. You can watch any race you want, Carlos. And now, yes. Andreas, it was a pleasure to have you here. I hope that you join some other day and you are a little bit more talkative.
Yeah, of course, when we have some more topics about the game, and I joined really bad time, so.
Well, don't worry, I join some other day.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we are ending the broadcast here. People, thank you for joining. I'm very happy to see that we had a pretty steady audience all the streaming long. And see you next streaming.
Bye.
Bye.